Okay, so I don't have a topic for this, do I? Ah, what do I call this? This is called graphing.
Graphing two variables.
Right, okay. Graphing two variable equations with fractions and a t-chart, right? With fractions using t-chart. With fractions, dear, using t-chart. Sorry, this is awful. But t-chart. Did that stay on there? Yes. I don't think anybody can read that. Oh well. Oh, okay, whatever. It says graphing two variable equations with fractions using a t-chart. I can't even read it. T-chart. Okay. Now, here's my equation. I don't like being so close to that. I'm going to start over. Y is equal to 1/3, I forgot what it was, x minus 1. Okay. So, we've already figured out, I mean, there's from the last lecture, we already know that one equation with two variables is going to create an infinite number of solutions, right? If x is this, y is this. If x is that, y is that. If x is, you know what I mean? Infinite number. So it's going to create a straight line with arrows on the end of both lines, right? I mean, both ends of the line.
Yeah.
Indicating it goes on forever. It means there's infinite number of solutions, right? Now, usually, if that number is not a fraction right there, I would just I choose my x's. My x's are my independent variables. My y's, to find my y, it's dependent on what x is. So my y's are dependent on x. My x's are independent, right? I get to choose my x's. I get to choose any x I want. And my goal is to choose the simple ones, right? I always start with 0. Because this is going to be a straight line. 0 always makes it easy. Because 0 times anything, even a fraction, is 0. So I just made it nothing, right? I just got rid of it. So I see y is equal to -1. So immediately I know that one. Piece of cake. The next one, though, typically I would do 0, 1, and 2 if it was not a fraction. But when it is a fraction, I would rather choose something that will get rid of my fractions, right?
Yeah.
Not something that keeps the fraction, because 1/3, I could graph it, but it's a little hard to be more accurate, when I'm graphing a third. 1/3, 2/3, right? It's a little harder to split things up exactly into thirds when I'm graphing. Much easier to have no fraction at all. And so I just look at the denominator, which is 3 in this case, right? That's a 3. So I'm going to multiply. My next number is going to be that denominator. That's my next number. I'm going to do a 3. And then I'm going to see, what does that give me? If I had 1/3, I'll just write here, 1/3 times 3, which is the same as 3 over 1, and then minus 1. Well, what is this? 3 goes in 3 once, 3 goes in 3 once. 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 over 1 is 1, right? Right?
Yes.
Is that clear? So 1 minus 1, what's the answer?
0.
0. So y is 0.
I knew it.
Yeah. Okay, now for my next one, I'm just going to take that denominator and I'm going to multiply it times 2. In other words, I'm just going to take my next multiple of 3, right? Which is 6. 2 times 3 is 6, right? Whatever my denominator is, multiplied times 2, that's my third one. So 6. Now, let's do that. We have 1/3 times 6 over 1, right? And then minus 1. So I'm going to do my upstairs, downstairs reducing.
3 goes into
3 goes into 3
once.
3 goes
Twice.
into 6 twice. And then, so that's 1 times 2, it's 2 over 1 times 1. 2 over 1 is the same as 2, right? So 2 minus 1 is
1.
1. Really easy. Really
Easy
easy,
peasy.
right? Easy peasy. Okay? So I come over here now, and I just plot them. So I don't go anywhere to the left or right for the first one, 0. I go 0 units. But I go down 1, so I'm going to put a dot there. And then I go back to the origin. I go over 3, and then I don't go up at all or down at all. So I put my dot right there on the axis, on the x-axis at 3. And then my last one, I start at the origin. I go to 6 to the right, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I have to go up 1, and then I put my dot there. Is that a straight line?
Yeah.
Yes, so that tells me I'm pretty sure I did everything right. Okay, so I did it. Really easy. Don't do 0, 1, and 2. Do 0, denominator, and 2 times the denominator, right? 0, denominator, and then 2 times the denominator. All right, so let's try one more just to get really good at it. All right, let's try one more problem. I put number 5 there because that's from the homework. But
Number 6.
now we're going to do number 6 from the homework, which is y is equal to 2/5 x
-3.
minus 3, right? So at first viewing, it looks, oh, this looks hard, right? It's not 2/5. It's not like 1/2. 2/5. That's like complicated, but it's not so complicated. Watch. We're going to use that same rule we used on the last problem. So first of all, I always start with 0 because that's so easy. 0 times anything is 0, so y is equal to -3. Beautiful. So easy. Second, Weston, what's the second thing I noticed? It's a fraction. So I'm going to use the denominator, right? I'm going to take the denominator. Notice the denominator is 5, so that's my number that goes here.
Yeah.
I take whatever the denominator, and I put that as the next x that I'm going to choose. And that will get rid of my fractions, right? You're writing all this down? For sure? This is the question you asked about.
I was getting that.
You what?
Should I write this down?
You were getting what?
Okay.
Oh yeah, but you should write everything down. This is, yeah. So, so if I have 2/5 x, but now x is 5, times 5 over 1, look what happens, and then minus 3, the 5's cross out, right? All I have left is 2 over 1, or 2, minus 3,
1 and
which is -1, right?
Yeah.
All right. Now the next one, remember the rule,
Yes.
I do 0, the next one is the denominator, and the third one is the denominator times 2, or my next multiple, which is 10. Now you might think, oh, that looks really hard. Well, it's not. We have 2/5 times x, now is x is 10, right? So we have 10
Over 1.
over 1. All right, I'm going to just do my simplification first. 5 goes into 5 once.
Twice.
5 goes into 10 twice. I have 2 times 2, which is 4. Oh, by the way, minus 3, right?
4 minus 3.
So we have 4 over 1, same as 4, minus 3, which is 1. Okay, now I come over here and I graph it. So it says I have okay. So it says 0, -3. So I start at origin. I don't go left to right at all because it's 0. And I go down 3, put a dot. Next one is 5. I go to the right 5, 2, 4, 5. And then I have to go down 1. So I'm going to put a dot there. The third one, oh my god, I have to go over 10. This was 5. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I go up 1. So it's going to be right there. Now, does that look like a straight line?
Yep. No.
Yeah.
Yep, it sure is. That's great. All right, awesome. So sometimes if you want to know it's a straight line, get your paper and check. Yep, it's a straight line. All right. But anyways, does that make sense? It's really, really easy.
Yeah.
You're going to be done with your homework in about 10 minutes, maybe even 5 minutes. Right? It's going to be easy as long as you follow this. Now, the next time I give a lecture, I'm going to teach you a shortcut. All right? And it will take you approximately I know this is a bummer about the timing. It's going to take you like 10 seconds to do each one. So if I gave you 6, how many seconds would that be? 60 seconds. So you could be done with your homework in 60 seconds.
In a minute.
Right? In 1 minute. Right? So these shortcuts are awesome. They're powerful. They're fun. They make graphing very, very fun. So that's going to be where we're going to go from there. So homework tonight. I'm going to pass this out. I'm going to turn this off.